And it's time now for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. And Al, we've seen some fluctuating temperatures and precipitation lately. How are things shaping up for the week ahead?
Well, Bill, we've certainly seen some changeable weather during this last week. And, we're looking at the crop statistics that were released this last Sunday that took us through the period to almost till the end of April. We've seen a 42% of the corn crop planted, and that's an increase of about 36% from the week prior. So we are making good progress, and we expect to see some further progress this week, even with the precipitation that hit the state. Bottom line is, as we go through this weekend, though, it doesn't look so great for planting weather, and that may cause some delays as we go into the early part of next week, but the more significant moisture is going to be toward the east of us. So let's take a look at the upper air models and see what we have in store. And the first thing I'll draw your attention to is a trough that's responsible for much of the inclement weather over the eastern corn belt is now trying to move out toward the eastern seaboard, and we got a low pressure system in the upper air trough sitting over the northern Rockies. Low pressure in southwestern Kansas will start to draw Gulf moisture up in advance of the main trough moving across the northern Rockies. We'll start to see some precipitation breaking out across western Nebraska. That should move into eastern Nebraska during the evening and overnight hours and then progress toward the east as we go into Sunday, with low pressure sitting up in southern portions of Illinois as we go into tomorrow morning. That will carry a good wraparound precipitation event for basically the Ohio River Valley all the way westward into eastern Nebraska. That trough itself starts to lift out on Monday. We're going to see cool conditions in place, unfortunately. We're going to be still highs essentially in the 50s and 60s across the central and northern plains as high pressure is firmly in control. Low pressure to the southwest will be responsible for bringing some moisture in to the Rocky Mountains, and of course the high pressure pushing upslope flow will increase that precipitation. By Tuesday, that low starts to break down and open up somewhat. High pressure is still firmly in control, so we're going to see some fairly cool conditions once again in the lower to mid 60s. That high pressure will move to the east and start to bring warmer air in, but in the meantime we're still going to see a persistent precipitation pattern in eastern Colorado. By Wednesday, this trough begins to make a shift eastward. Right now, the GFS model wants to keep the moisture just to the south of Nebraska as high pressure remains over central Nebraska. So if this system moves just a little bit farther toward the north, we'll see that precipitation field move into the I-80 corridor. Otherwise, by Thursday, that trough begins to move into this eastern corn belt. High pressure firmly in control with a southerly flow bringing warmer temperatures into our region. At the same time, we get a trough starting to move across the northern Rockies. We'll start to see some precipitation generated across western Montana. As we get into Friday, the main trough itself starts to push out into the plains. That's going to allow some precipitation to start building in the northern plains. At the same time, some energy in the southern stream will generate a low pressure in southwestern Kansas. Now, as we go into Friday, most of the moisture will be well to our north of us, but as we go into this weekend, there are some signs that the system will move to the southeast, and we could see some precipitation breaking out across northern Nebraska, a little farther drift, and we'll see that precipitation band hinder most of the state as we go into next weekend. The 8 to 14 day forecast that takes us from next Thursday to the following Tuesday keeps us in normal temperatures, dealing with the cold air moving to the east and the warm air moving from the west into our region. So basically we're going to be right around average. And in terms of precipitation, with that trough moving into the northern plains and eventually into the eastern corn belt, widespread precipitation is expected, particularly from central Iowa all the way through the Ohio River Valley. So overall, it looks like not very good planting condition weather as we go through this weekend.